And there we go. So that is exactly the way we want it to look. Now, what we could do is add a little, what's called a formatter function. I don't use formatter functions very often because it can only handle one column at a time. But in this case, we can add one to this column and say if the value is over, um, if it's over 0, then color it green. And if it's, um, yeah, if it's over, if there's growth, show green. If there's decline, then show red. So in this, in this right there could stay black. So this would be green, that would be green. And, who knows, maybe we could have a green color scale, and the higher this value is, like the brighter the color is, but we could do that much later on. We'll just do green for now. So to do that, let's go back here and create our formatter function. So let's do. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is create a table function also, so that way, see how long this string gets right here. We could condense it down and then have, these would be the default keyword arguments. So let's say, where do we want to do that? Where do we want to do that? Data frame from records, dates, transform. Let's just add it right there. So we're going to say columns equals none. What else do we have? Index equals false. And then we're going to say, what else? Escape equals false. Then we're going to add a classes argument, which we're going to say none. And what else? That's it. So then we're going to say return. Oh yeah, and then we have to add a data frame argument. So return data frame, and then let's take all that out. Just like that. Then these columns, take those out. Columns, then index, and escape, and then classes equals classes. Okay, we're gonna add that, and columns equals that. Okay. Oh yeah, so this is where the formatters come in. So we're gonna say formatters equals formatters. And we're going to say formatters equals formatters. So we're going to have a default formatters variable. And we're just going to have, we could have up to, it could be a dozen, it could be 20, it could be 50, 100 different formatters, showing all different kinds of formatting functions. I mean, again, I don't use these a whole lot because they can only, like, as far as I know, they can only handle one, column at a time. Like you can't pass in, like with dates to date to block links, for instance, you can pass in the date series and the transaction series to get like a whole new column. That's very useful. See, that created dates to dates. This could be a formatter since it's only handling one column. Total prices to ethers, this could be a formatter, but we're just going to leave them the way they are for now. But for formatters, we're going to add a function called, let's see, percent change colorer, if that's even a word. So percent change colorer. Wait, no. This is going to be the name of the function. And then this right here needs to be percent change. Okay. So let's add that right here. And then we're going to add, let's see, percent change. So it only passes in, like another disadvantage of this formatter function is that it only passes in one value at a time, which, who knows, it could be an advantage. I don't know. But we're going to say if percentage change is greater than 0, we're going to return a span. Let's see, I think you say style equals color green and let's see, percent change and then span. All right, so there's that, and then we're gonna copy this. Or not else. If percent change is, let's see, less than 0, we're going to return red. And we're going to say otherwise, we're just going to return that. Okay, so that should work. Valid syntax, line 150. No filter name table, that's because we need to define it. So I'm going to put it right there. There we go. Cool. Now I don't like how there's, all these trailing values here. So let's reduce this down to 2. So we can add that to our formatter function. So I'm trying to remember how we do that. So let's look up Python float to decimal places. Yeah, that should work. Format. Okay. So we're gonna put it right, I think we can do it here. Now let's try it. Okay, not supported between instances of string and integer. Okay. So it's converting it to a string. So we gotta convert this to a float. There we go, much better. All right, so maybe, you know, we can add another table showing the percent change between transactions. So I'm trying to decide how we would do that. I mean, we could do a bar chart. Do we want to do a bar chart? You know, it could be like a, we can almost put it inside of this table. Or we could just have a complete separate chart. Nah, we're just gonna skip that for now. What's another column we want to add? You know what? Maybe we'll answer those questions in the pursuit of doing something that is a little more desirable. So let's say I'm kind of interested in buying an NFT, honestly. So to do that, you know, what information would we need? Okay, well, I kind of want to buy an undervalued one. You know, I'm kind of on a budget, so we might need to create a whole new template. Try to decide how this template could. I mean, I'm going to explore this idea a little bit. So I'm probably going to be rambling, going on some tangents, so you guys don't have to like listen to this part. But I'm just going to talk out loud. And it might sound stupid too, so whatever. Okay, so we could have maybe a, let's see. If we wanted to know the NFTs, the tokens that have the lowest value. So we could query for ones with the lowest price potentially. So we could have another below this, we could have a list. I mean, this template only shows one NFT, but you know, for another template we could have a list. Instead of an individual NFT, would have a list, and this list of NFTs would show, it would be like the lowest price NFTs that have been listed. You know, they're for sale. And maybe it could be not only sorted by value, by ascending value, meaning cheapest first and then expensive later, but it would also be sorted by, there might be some other metric that shows, it's an auction related metric. So I'm new to CryptoPunks, guys, so I'm still exploring it and you know how the auction system works. but I believe there may be some kind of metric that could help us. Because I don't want to like place a bid and then, be outbid by someone else all the time. I just want to buy something quick and then the auction ends quickly and then I get my NFT. So we're gonna play around with this list idea. This list idea. So, I can almost see us having. We would keep this information. This is useful information, but then we could have one showing like the auction in real time, it being listed, and then it shows all of the bids on that item. So maybe it could be incorporated into this chart, right? So like so after a sale, there would be, maybe it could be different colored dots showing where the bids have occurred, and then whenever a sale's made, then there would be a black dot, so it almost look like a, in the case that, like for instance, for this dot right here, there could be several yellow dots or something, showing bids that have occurred on that item. So we're going to explore that a little bit. And, but we're going to, okay, so I think we should add that much later. Because first thing we need to do, I think, is we need to, in our data frame, make sure we have bids. So let's go back to our data set. I think we go here, open up, let's see, dashboard 1. No, it wasn't there. Where was it? Where was it? No, it wasn't there. Test. Cryptopunks. This side. Here was our data set. We might have only queried for successful sales transactions. Let's see if there's a bid information. Bid amount. Interesting. None. Okay, well that's because we're querying for sales transactions. So I believe we had a successful event type. We need to turn this to none. Event types, query string. I wonder if there's a way we could have multiple event types. Let's see, let's go to the OpenSea API documentation, which would be after closing these tabs. OpenSea.io. Let's go to community developers. Now let's go to API and let us retrieve events. Retrieving events. Let's see, is there an event type? Event type, a string. Okay. So there's successful Now there is a bid entered and bid withdrawn. That is information we would need. And then perhaps canceled as well. So let's copy this. Is we need to know if the item is listed. Whether it's listed or not listed. Let's see. Okay, created for new auctions. We also need that as well. So there might be, I don't know, it'd be interesting to see, because maybe created is when an auction is created, and canceled means an auction is canceled. I have no idea, honestly. So we're just going to play around with the data. Okay, so to do that, let's go to our test here. Wait, no. We're still saving it. Now how, I think we need to make a modification to this function here. So there's several, I think there's going to be several ones that we want to pull from. So originally this was successful, right? But perhaps it needs to be a list. You know, so then we'll say created, say canceled, bid entered, and then let's see, bid withdrawn, transfer, or approve. I think let's keep it short for now, because there'd be a whole ton of data. So created, we might need that. We might need canceled. We might need sales or successful. Bid entered, bid withdrawn. I don't think we need a bid withdrawn because we only maybe we do care about bid withdrawn actually. Yeah, no, I take that back. Transfer. Let's take that out. And then approve. Let's take that out. So only these guys. Say and then event types, okay, event types. Now let's say we wanted to if there's a way we could query for NFTs with certain features, that'd be cool. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so maybe we only care about, or we could pass in and occurred after. Only show events listed before this timestamp, and show occurred after. Okay, so we only want bid. We want bid events that occurred after a sale, because we might need this, later. But let's try occurred after. Okay. So that's a response. Wonder if there's a certain format it needs to be in. Perhaps it needs to be formatted like this. That's what a date time should look like. So occurred after. Okay, so instead of a list, we're going to do, should we do a dictionary? Yeah, because then we can specify if there's other because we want sales. We want all of these sales related information. Right? But for bids, because here's the thing: is we have to query through the entire list of NFTs versus just one, right? So, I'll just screw it. I'll just show you guys. So here's a list, right? And that's the format we want. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass in a date time, and we're going to convert it to that format. So let's pass in occurred before. I believe that's what it was called. Occurred before with 2 R's. Let's say after. Actually, that's what we said earlier, was we would only look at after. And let's see, what was the, let's do after 2017. So to do that, we're just going to pass in this type of string, 2017. And then let's convert that to say OA date time equals Maya.when occurred after, I'm going to say .date time, then I'm going to say straight time, string format time, and then to format this, I believe it's capital Y or dash, and then let's see, percent, I think it's month, and then day, and then T, and then hour, and then minute, and then seconds. OA date time. Okay. So then occurred after. let's say, oh, a date time.